What if I told you that there are naval beasts so colossal they can carry more fighter jets than the entire air force of a country? Authentic floating cities of steel, powered by nuclear reactors that keep them active for decades, with hangars that look like airports and weapons capable of turning the ocean into an impenetrable battlefield. Today, in TechZNX, you will discover the 7 most powerful, destructive, and technological aircraft carriers on the planet, COLOSSAL, that not only dominate the seas but can change the course of a war just by appearing on the horizon. Let's begin. Number 7. INS Vikrant. We open this ranking with a colossus that marks a turning point for an entire nation. The INS Vikrant, the first aircraft carrier built in India with indigenous technology. This naval monster is not just a warship. It is a symbol of military independence, a clear warning that India now plays in the league of the world's great oceanic powers. The Vikrant displaces more than 43,000 tons of steel and measures over 260 meters in length, making it a true floating city of war. In its hangars, it can host more than 30 aircraft, including MiG-29K fighters, Kamov Ka-31 attack helicopters, and modern MH-60 Romeo helicopters specialized in anti-submarine warfare. Its most impressive feature is the ski jump flight deck, which allows fighters to take off loaded with heavy armament even without electromagnetic catapults. Every takeoff is the roar of a beast projecting the claws of the Indian Navy hundreds of kilometers offshore. And it's not just about carrying aircraft. The Vikrant is armed with state-of-the-art radar systems, Barak anti-aircraft missiles, and close-range defenses, turning it into a floating fortress capable of protecting itself and the entire fleet around it. Picture the scene: the Vikrant advancing with a full escort group, MiG fighters launching in formation, helicopters patrolling the horizon, and radars sweeping the skies and seas for threats. It is literally India's steel fist projected into the high seas. The INS Vikrant is not the largest carrier on Earth, but it is a monumental leap for India. It proves the nation no longer depends on other powers to defend its waters and project strength across the Indian Ocean. That alone makes it one of the most important and symbolic aircraft carriers in today's world. Number 6. Charles de Gaulle. Here we find a giant that embodies European military power, the only nuclear aircraft carrier outside the United States. The French Charles de Gaulle is not just a warship, it is the spearhead of France's military force, and a symbol that Europe can also build oceanic titans. The Charles de Gaulle displaces more than 42,000 tons and stretches 261 meters long. Its deck can operate up to 40 aircraft, including Rafale M fighters, considered among the most advanced and lethal in the world. Every Rafale launch means a target can be struck with surgical precision hundreds of kilometers away. What makes it unique is its nuclear propulsion. Powered by 2 reactors, the Charles de Gaulle can sail for more than 20 years without refueling. This makes it virtually limitless, able to operate in any ocean without foreign bases. And its power doesn't end there. The carrier is shielded by high-tech defenses, long-range Aster missiles, Sadral anti-missile systems, automatic cannons, and advanced radars that track air, sea, and submarine threats in real time. In practice, it is a fortress that protects itself and the entire fleet around it. Picture it advancing through the Mediterranean, escorted by French destroyers and nuclear submarines. Rafales lift off with air-to-surface missiles and guided bombs, all coordinated by advanced control systems. The Charles de Gaulle becomes the brain of an entire naval strike group. It may not be the largest, but it is among the most influential. Because it doesn't just represent France, it represents Europe's ability to project military power anywhere on the planet. Number 5. HMS Queen Elizabeth. Now we enter the realm of modern giants. The HMS Queen Elizabeth is the pride of the Royal Navy and the largest aircraft carrier ever built by the United Kingdom. This steel monster displaces more than 70,000 tons and stretches almost 300 meters in length. Just its appearance is overwhelming, but its capabilities prove it's a true floating city of war. The Queen Elizabeth can operate up to 60 aircraft, including fifth-generation F-35B fighters, jets designed for vertical takeoff and landing. Imagine dozens of radar-invisible fighters launching in bursts from its deck, escorted by Apache attack helicopters and Merlin anti-submarine helicopters. It is literally a swarm of steel unleashed from the sea. Its design is revolutionary, featuring two separate command islands, one for flight operations and one for navigation, ensuring redundancy and efficiency under extreme conditions. The carrier is also equipped with multifunction radars, electronic warfare systems, and anti-missile defenses, making it practically impenetrable. And it can operate for months without returning to port, projecting British power globally. Picture it cruising the Atlantic, escorted by destroyers, frigates, and nuclear submarines. From its deck, stealth F-35Bs launch toward strategic targets hundreds of kilometers away. An entire ocean becomes its domain. The HMS Queen Elizabeth is not just the UK's most powerful carrier ever. It is a message to the world. London still has global reach and is willing to use it with one of the most impressive ships of our era. Number 4. Shandong. This is not just an aircraft carrier. It is proof that China no longer depends on anyone to build naval giants. Displacing over 70,000 tons and stretching nearly 315 meters, the Shandong is the first carrier fully designed and built in Chinese shipyards, the jewel of Beijing's rising navy. Its deck can handle more than 40 combat aircraft, mainly J-15 fighters that launch from a massive ski jump ramp. Each can carry air-to-air missiles, precision-guided bombs, and anti-ship weapons, turning the Shandong into a mobile oceanic airbase. But beyond size, its purpose is strategic, to project power in the South Pacific and South China Sea, where tensions with the United States and allies keep rising. The Shandong patrols those waters like a silent predator, sending a clear message. China can now wage war far beyond its shores. It's armed with advanced radars, HQ-9 air defenses, and automated cannons. It operates autonomously for months and integrates with Type 55 destroyers, frigates, and nuclear submarines, forming a strike group that locks down entire seas. Picture the scene. The Shandong advancing with a fleet of Type 55 destroyers, while J-15 fighters roar off its deck one after another. For any enemy, spotting that silhouette means facing not just a carrier, but a power now standing shoulder to shoulder with the United States. The Shandong is more than a ship. It is China's new symbol of military might, and its warning that in tomorrow's seas, Beijing will not be left behind. Number 3. Fujian. The Fujian is the absolute pride of the Chinese Navy. This is not just another carrier. It is a colossus displacing more than 80,000 tons and stretching almost 320 meters, marking China's leap into true global naval supremacy. Its revolutionary edge, electromagnetic catapults, a technology previously exclusive to America's Gerald R. Ford. With them, the Fujian can launch fifth-generation J-20 fighters, combat drones, and airborne early warning aircraft faster, heavier, and deadlier than ever. Picture its deck roaring as electromagnetic catapults hurl stealth fighters and autonomous drones skyward in rapid succession. It is a technological show of force, placing Beijing nearly level with the U.S. Navy. This is no experiment. It is a global operations platform. With advanced radars, upgraded HQ-9 defenses, and electronic warfare systems, the Fujian is a floating fortress. Coordinated with stealth Type 55 destroyers and nuclear submarines, it dominates entire oceans. Most importantly, it represents a shift. China no longer copies Soviet designs. It builds futuristic carriers that challenge America head-on. The Fujian is a floating warning. The era of U.S. exclusivity in next-gen carriers is over. Number 2. Nimitz class. For decades, one name defined naval supremacy: Nimitz. This class of American nuclear aircraft carriers is not a set of ships. It is the backbone of U.S. global military power, the benchmark for all others. Each displaces over 100,000 tons, stretches more than 330 meters, and operates more than 70 combat aircraft, stealth F-35s, F-18 Super Hornets, anti-submarine helicopters, and E-2 Hawkeye early warning planes. A full airborne base that can devastate any enemy within hours. Their nuclear autonomy is staggering. 2 reactors powering 25 years of operations without refueling. While others depend on ports, a Nimitz sails anywhere for decades, always combat-ready. Picture it, a Nimitz escorted by Arleigh Burke destroyers, Ticonderoga cruisers, and nuclear submarines. Fighters launch with precision-guided bombs and hypersonic missiles. Helicopters sweep for enemy subs. The entire strike group becomes a planetary war machine. For half a century, Nimitz carriers have fought in every major conflict, from the Persian Gulf to the South China Sea. Their presence alone reshapes geopolitics. They are not ships. They are floating nuclear threats with nation-level destructive power. The Nimitz class is not the future. It is absolute power in the present. And even as replacements arrive, they remain the most lethal and respected carriers today. Number 1. USS Gerald R. Ford. At the top stands the supreme colossus, the USS Gerald R. Ford, the largest, most expensive, and most advanced aircraft carrier ever built. This steel monster is not a ship. It is a floating city of war, designed to keep America ruling the seas for the next 50 years. The Gerald R. Ford displaces more than 100,000 tons and stretches 337 meters. Its deck supports over 75 aircraft, stealth F-35 Lightning IIs, combat drones, anti-submarine helicopters, and airborne early warning planes. In practice, it is a nuclear floating airport ready to launch massive strikes anywhere on Earth. Its futuristic edge lies in EMALS electromagnetic catapults, replacing old steam systems. They allow faster, heavier launches with less wear, up to 1,000 sorties per day, an apocalyptic figure no other carrier can match. It also boasts laser defenses, next-gen cannons, advanced radars tracking hundreds of targets at once, and reduced crew needs thanks to extreme automation. Everything makes it more efficient, deadlier, and nearly unstoppable. Picture the Gerald R. Ford advancing with its full strike group. Stealth jets, drones, and helicopters surge skyward, while radars scan the horizon, eliminating threats before they approach. This is not a carrier, it is a floating empire. But the most striking aspect is what it represents. With this Titan, the United States not only secures naval supremacy, it tells the world that as long as the Gerald R. Ford sails, no ocean is safe for its enemies. The USS Gerald R. Ford is not just the most powerful carrier ever built. It is the definition of absolute sea power. And there you have it. The 7 most colossal, destructive, and technological aircraft carriers on the planet. From India's Vikrant, symbolizing rising powers, to the monstrous Gerald R. Ford, the jewel of American supremacy, these titans prove modern war is not won by fighters or missiles alone, but by floating cities that control entire oceans. They are more than ships. They are symbols of power, messages of intimidation, and tools capable of changing the fate of wars just by appearing on the horizon. Which of these aircraft carriers did you find the most brutal and impressive? Do you think any nation will ever surpass the United States in naval dominance? Leave your answer in the comments. We want to hear your opinion. And don't forget to subscribe to TechZNX, because what's coming next will leave you even more amazed.